I absolutely believe there's need not be a new Cold War. I've met many times with Xi Jinping, and we were candid and clear with one another across the board. And I do not think there's any imminent attempt on the part of China to invade Taiwan. And I made it clear that our policy on Taiwan has not changed at all.
Okay. Joining me now, former Deputy National Security Advisor Stephen Yates. Stephen, I got to be honest, I never knew what to make of the China's going to invade, not going to invade stuff. But the second I saw Joe Biden say they weren't going to invade, I started counting down to the minutes they're going to invade.
I know, it's really kind of crazy. No one in the world really cares what Joe Biden thinks about whether China's going to invade. It all comes down to whether Xi Jinping thinks he's going to invade. And I doubt very, very much that Joe Biden, even in 3+ hours of sitting down for an amazing conversation perhaps, knows any more than the rest of us do about what Xi Jinping intends. And so I think it's kind of unsettling for a president to come out and just say all is well. I wish it were so. It would be much more reassuring if Xi Jinping had to face the press coming out of a meeting and said something about not invading Taiwan.
Stephen, let's begin here, because we hear a lot about this. China, Taiwan, China, Taiwan. As an ugly American who's got my own problems, right? Recession, gas prices, we got our own problems. Tell me why I should give a crap if China does invade.
Well, there are a few different reasons. Number one, it's never inconsequential for 23 million people who live in freedom, and an American commitment of support has been extended. However ambiguous it may have been over time, it's unambiguous that we have made a commitment, and it's not right to lead people to believe that you're going to help them and then turn away when it goes the wrong way. So there's that on top of everything else. Of course, that doesn't motivate the Biden administration, because everything from Afghanistan to Ukraine to whatever else wouldn't have happened if they honored commitments. So the other reasons are the important advanced semiconductor chips on which we depend. Taiwan is a major economy despite its size of only 23 million people. It's one of our top trade partners. And so supply chain impacts on the United States would be significant if something happened. And even if just brass tacks were not all of it, it's fundamental to our concept of alliances in East Asia, especially with Japan, that we honor these commitments. And once China breaks that island chain and undermines our alliances, it's really kind of the war of all against all when it comes to our shores. And so I believe in supporting those on the front lines to help themselves, so that we don't have to be the one to be their 911, but I certainly don't want the fight coming here.
Stephen, okay, you mentioned what our commitment is, ambiguous to put it mildly. What do we think we would do if China starts an amphibious assault, lobbing missiles, fighter jets overhead? If we've committed to do something, everything, what do we think we would do?
Yeah, well, first, before we got to that position, if we had leadership, and I will grant that we don't, we would be providing them as much advanced capability and asymmetrical capability as they can afford to buy and use. We should make them as capable of self-defense as possible. And same goes for Japan, encourage cooperation between the two. But positing we have failed in that endeavor right now and are playing catch up, if the balloon were to go up, I don't think that we would be sending troops to Taiwan by way of like a land invasion to liberate the island. I would think at a minimum, the version of the financial kitchen sink that we thought we threw at Russia would be on the table to throw at China. There would be some argument about it, but I'd like to believe that that argument should be winnable under those circumstances as something short of hot war. But also, it's greatly complicated if China goes into Japan's airspace or happens to hit some of our material that's in a base nearby. There's so many different ways this can go bad. That's why I want our current leadership, as much as I doubt their capabilities and intentions right now, I want them to go above and beyond that on deterrence now.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Che Guevara, the latest episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.